The boy was eating. Suddenly,
Ich bin dit, Zid.
Non.
Ne réponds jamais quand on parle yiddish. Dis-moi la vérité.
Arrêtez.
Je sais que t'es juif.
Non.
Je sais que t'es juif.
Non, je suis pas juif.
the father hugged his child apologetically, repeatedly apologizing. These 3 slaps were how the father taught his son how to survive. This is a true story from World War II. In 1942, France was occupied by Germany. To better distinguish Jews, the German army required all Jews to wear the Star of David insignia. Because of their Jewish identity, the 2 brothers were ostracized at school. Knowing his sons were being discriminated against, the father knew it was no longer safe and decided to flee to the free zone overnight. However, the family was too conspicuous and would inevitably attract the attention of the German army. The family had to flee separately, eventually deciding to meet in Nice. The 2 older sons had already set off, leaving only Yo-Yo and Maurice. After planning the route for the brothers, the father instructed them never to admit their Jewish identity. And so, the 2 brothers embarked on their escape. Watching their sons' departing figures, the parents could only silently pray for them. Arriving at the station, the 2 desperately squeezed onto the train. This was the first night without their parents by their side. They didn't even know why they were fleeing. At dawn, Yo-Jo was woken by his brother and discovered that people on the train were fleeing in panic. It turned out that most of the passengers were Jews. With the train approaching its destination, the Jews without proper identification had no choice but to jump off. But what awaited them was only beatings and shootings by German soldiers. Just as the 2 brothers were about to get off, German soldiers boarded the train to inspect them. Seeing no way to escape, their godfather gestured for them to sit down. When the German soldiers came to check their identification, the godfather produced his own documents and said the 2 brothers were his children. They narrowly escaped death. The godfather put them on a bus to the safety zone and told them not to trust anyone.
Monsieur le curé d'Armand, c'est pour nous.
J'ai pas menti, tous les enfants du monde sont mes enfants, puis voilà, puis c'est tout. Bon allez, puis c'est vous.
Not long after, they arrived at Artimo. Following their father's instructions, they needed to find a guide there. Eamon on a bicycle approached, claiming to be their guide. The brothers believed him unpaid a deposit. However, at the appointed time that evening, instead of a guide, they were greeted by a truck full of German soldiers. The 2 brothers quickly jumped into a nearby ditch. Fortunately, the German soldiers passed by without noticing them. Yo-Jo was terrified and cried. His older brother was equally frightened. They didn't know what to do next. Thankfully, the guide hadn't lied to them and eventually appeared. He led the brothers, evading the German pursuit, and successfully reached the free zone. But reaching Nice to reunite with their family was still a long way off. From then on, they had to rely on themselves. Before long, the younger brother's feet were blistered and bleeding. Without hesitation, the older brother carried his younger brother on his back and continued onward.
Merci quand même.